Fired up.
I know, right? Hey, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. What's up? Let's make sure you guys go ahead and do some watch parties. Share this feed. This is going to be a really, really strong interview today. I'm so excited getting the opportunity to interview one of my favorite people, favorite brothers, and he is doing his thing. So you guys definitely want to go ahead and share the feed. Tell your friends, your family, jump on here, go ahead and do a watch party so that people can hear this story. You know, guys, everybody's looking for answers right now, right? So now's that time for you to go ahead and be that answer to somebody. You know, a lot of us have been blessed to be brought into this space, or we're getting education, our lives are changing, and we're able to change so many other lives too. What's up, Angela? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Excited to have you guys on here. Make sure you got your watch party going on. I'm going to give it one more minute. You guys jump on in here and we're going to get started and have some really good dialogue. Also, I want to encourage you. I have my Apple Pen, okay, and my journal right here because I'm about to be taking some notes, okay? So make sure you do that. I just pulled this up, pulling up my journal. If you guys haven't downloaded pen and paper on your app, definitely go ahead and do that. A great way to keep all of your notes together. Or if you have a traditional, I still have my traditional paper journal too, honey, but I just love using my little toys. It allows me to kind of go back there. Hey, what's up, Carl? What's up, Michelle? What's up, Maxine? Okay, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with prayers. We always do, and then we're going to get started with our conversation. So, Father, we just thank you, Lord. We're so grateful for today. We're so grateful for this mid-year checkup. We thank you for the middle of 2020, that we still have 6 more months to go. God, I just thank you for ordering our steps, blessing our going in, blessing our coming out. Thank you for wealth strategies, wealth intel. Thank you for heaven's outpouring. God, I thank you that even in the worst of times, it can be the best of times. I thank you for mental toughness, emotional intelligence. I thank you, Lord, that we're sharp and alert and that we're learning and growing and hungry for your presence and hungry for the best that this earth has to offer. I thank you for our speaker today, Jason. I pray that you bless him, give him utterance, wisdom, and understanding flow out of him, and every person up under the sound of our voice, God, that their lives will be forever changed. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, all right. So excited to have Jason on, guys. Go ahead, share this feed, do that watch party. What's up, Portia? What's up, Tasha? So Jason, thank you so much. I call him my billionaire brother for coming on here this morning. I really, really appreciate it. I want to go ahead and jump into your story because every time I hear your story, I mean, it really is, you're really quite the miracle, but you also just operated in some principles that work for everyday people. So let's get started before you hit, before you even came into I Am, like, who was Jason?
Well, first off, Jewel, I'm fired up to be here, excited. And what a great way to open it up. You said some powerful things in a prayer that I've been really just manifesting and focused on. So it's crazy how when people align, typically the same principles that they stand for and the same things they believe in align as well. So there's a lot of correlation for the people watching. If you want to take things to the next level, think about what successful people are building themselves on, because, the same core principles that we share between Jewel and I are shared also amongst a lot of my peers that are extremely successful. So we'll get into that, I'm sure. But for me, I've always been, just a hard worker. So one of the biggest principles to my foundation has been that I watched both of my parents work, 2-3 jobs each growing up. So I didn't grow up in a huge wealth scenario. Sorry, my cleaning lady is here taking care of some things, and
Cleaning lady.
She doesn't speak English either. So like when I talk to her, it's got to be like I gotta like understand Spanish, which I don't do very well, and I gotta speak it, which I don't do at all. So anyway, my parents worked multiple jobs, 2-3 jobs at a time. And so I got to just grow up modeling them and seeing, I think when you're young, you don't have a perception of reality. It gets painted for you. And that's why, some people grow up in super adverse environments. Some people grow up around wealth. And whatever you grow up around is typically what you end up thinking is the reality until you grow up. So for me, my reality was go to work in the morning, come home around 4 or 5 at night. Let me shut my WhatsApp because people are blowing me up. They don't know this interview is going down. And they get the memo. But yeah, as soon as I was old enough to get a job, I did. I think I was maybe 15, something like that. I got a job at this Italian restaurant. I dropped a whole bus bucket of glasses, got fired. That was awesome. And then I just went from job to job to job to job until it was time to go to college. Worked hard through college, waiter, went into nightlife. And then right before the previous 2 years, I had gotten into network marketing, more of like actual product-based network marketing, direct sales, got introduced to personal development. And so really leading into getting into IM, and honestly, I don't know how much of the story you guys are familiar with, but Matt and I did not join IM to actually build at first. Our intention was just to learn the skill of trading. And I actually have charts on my computer. I trade full time. So that was the intention. But leading up to that, we were doing direct sales, network marketing. And so I've just been a person who modeled hard work through my parents and have always worked hard from, honestly, the first opportunity that I got.
Wow. So you saw a lot of hard work. You saw a lot of hard work, obviously, with your family. And so you had a work ethic already. How did you find out about IM and what attracted you to it?
Yeah, so it's funny because, Matt, so we were in a previous company. We were there for probably about 7 or 8 months. And Matt was my top leader. So, we worked hard because Matt was really the most dedicated. We started to get momentum international. So I turned a lot of my focus to getting him a result. And, he finally reaches this breakthrough. He's making, a couple thousand a month. And we're excited about it because it's the first time that he has seen that type of money in 3 years of network marketing. And Matt starts talking about trading. And I'm like, bro, focus. Yeah, he'll laugh if he was on this call, but I kept telling him, focus, like you're finally starting to see the breakthrough. And now you want to run out and touch everything. Like, stop, sit down, And so Matt was super adamant about trading. So he joined signal groups. He got burned. He gave money to people to trade for him, burned. So now, not only was he curious, he had like a vengeance. And for those of you who know Matt Rosa, he when he has a vengeance, he's out for it. And you cannot change. It's like a dog when it wants to eat. You just cannot shift it no matter what. You just got to feed it. So luckily for that ambition that he had to actually figure out how to multiply money, he found a young gentleman named Austin Godsey, and that kind of led us to the company. I had my reservations because I believe in consistency, I believe in loyalty, I believe in hard work. But really, what drew us to the platform was the fact that we wanted to learn. Right, Matt was seeking to make money. And then it kind of shifted once we met Chris Terry. So we got introduced to Chris. We got on a Zoom. Well, it wasn't a Zoom call. It was like a Google Hangout or something. But anyway, we got a video chat with Chris. And, he explained what trading had done in his life and what learning the skill had done, and why Matt had lost money trying to chase the signals and this and that. It just, the education conversation that we had with Chris that night changed my life forever. So that's essentially when I made the decision with Matt to get started as customers, continue doing what we're doing, but actually learn the skill. And then within 60 days, it was a no-brainer to go all in.
Wow. So guys, those of you who may just be joining for the first time, Monday through Friday, I do wealth conversations with just everyday people who have, came up on success because they made a decision that they wanted more out of life. They made a decision that they wanted to have wealth conversations because wealth conversations leads to wealth relationships that lead to wealth decisions that lead to wealth results. So if you're on here right now, if you're just happen to be, scrolling down, I would recommend you stop and pay attention because I believe if everybody is honest with themselves, like money is important. Don't be acting like money is not important. It is important because it impacts where you live, it impacts what you drive, it impacts where you go grocery shopping, it impacts how you're able to take care of the people that you love. And so today we have a very, very good friend of mine, my brother, who has had a tremendous amount of success. And it's not like he was just lucky. He just connected to this amazing wealth educational platform, and you guys have the same ability to be able to do that. You have the same ability to say, I'm going to connect and I'm going to become a student of wealth. If a person wants to become a doctor, they go to med school. If somebody wants to become an accountant, they go to the school of accounting. It's the same thing that if you desire to become wealthy, you have to go to the school of wealth so that you can understand the strategies and get the solutions. So you meet Christopher Terry. Matt is like gung-ho on learning how to trade. You have this conversation with Chris, 60 days are in. I mean, obviously, when you guys first got in here, I would imagine it was probably very much like, Apple when it first got started, or Google when it first got started. Because I know when I came in 2016, it was still very much in its raw form, but I saw the potential was huge, right? So you meet Chris, you have a conversation with Chris. Guys, listen to this, because what I do know about Jason is that he has endured tons of pivots and changes. It's all a part of being in the digital space. Nothing is just going to be constant. One thing I love about I Am Academy is we're constantly getting better. So when you first got in and you were running into some of those digital, like, oops, that didn't work. Oops, we got to change this. Oops, I thought this app would work. Oops, what was your mindset with all of that? Because you guys that are on here now, you need to understand that it's going to take emotional intelligence and mental toughness. So Jason, talk about that.
Yeah, and it's an amazing way to take this conversation, Jewel. I'm excited to give this answer because I think this perception is the difference between even rich people and wealthy people. This one simple perception shift. When we started, when I'm on Zoom calls and sometimes I'm telling the story, I'll literally share my screen and I will Google and show them the original Apple computer. Because when I was in like 4th or 5th grade, my elementary school had Apple computers. And most people had, Microsoft and, Windows, but we had this Apple computer in one of my classrooms. And it was just this yellow box that looked just like, unattractive and had the little floppy disk drive. And so I sometimes show them that that's what I Am look like. But this simple wealth perception that I was talking about is that, when you make a commitment, not just when you want to be successful, when you make a commitment to something, it's based off a vision, right? A destination. It's like when someone starts maybe to run a marathon, right? You understand that the end of the marathon is the only place that you want to end up. When you're swing trading, you pick the target and that's where you want to end up. When you have a investment account, like I have a bonds account with JP Morgan, and I know that those bonds will mature, but I need to endure the obstacles, the experience, right? The adversity that might come from point A to point B. And so this wealth, this is the difference between rich people and wealthy people. Because rich people have money, but wealthy people create money. And there's a massive difference in between the two. And so for me, I had always modeled, like, yes, I was in my 20s, but I stopped listening to the people around me that were my age that didn't have the results that I wanted. So they're out in the clubs. And look, I have my fun and I still will go out and have fun. But there's discipline on the road to success. And so while a lot of people were going one way, I decided to go the other. And I always sought mentorship from people that were older than me. So even when I was in nightlife, actually it's so funny, it's ironic that we're having this conversation, because one of the gentlemen that I met when I first got into nightlife, super connected and super successful, I have a meeting with him in 45 minutes. And we're working on some major stuff. So it's funny how, he's probably, me and his son are the same age. Yet a lot of my friends, when it comes to wealth creation, like you, Jewel, I just have always been attracted to people that know more than me, that have done more and or that just have different strategies. Because at the end of the day, when I got the vision of what I Am could be, the destination was still to have millions of customers and to become a globally understood brand. And so all the little things in between, I don't ever stress. I just try to create a solution because that adversity will take us to a new place. And that, I believe, is why we've been able to create wealth. While a lot of people, Jewel, a lot of people started with, they had a rich mindset, not a wealth mindset. So when the storm hit, they run for cover. They're in the bunker. And we're just trying to figure out how to build an umbrella. Somebody write that down. That was part of my rap career. Things like that. It just failed. So I started. That's a real story.
I love it. No, that is really good. I think it's a good point that it takes a lot of discipline. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta, and hanging out with people that have more than you and people that are smarter than you. And that's what I really love about this platform. Like, I'm so much sharper. I'm so much smarter. I've learned so many wealth strategies. I've learned so many moves that had I not been around the Jasons and the Matts and the Chris's and the Ices and the Chinas and all that, then, I wouldn't have been thinking like I think. Like, what I love about what we're doing, we're not just talking about strategies to increase or to create financial freedom for 2020. Like, we're in 2021, 2022, 2023. Like, we're way ahead of the curve. And that's where people really want to plug into. When people always ask me, they're like, is this like a 3-month course? I'm like, no, because it's forever changing, evolving. I mean, when I first got in, it was just really just Forex. Then we added on crypto. Then we added on, indices and commodities, and now stock options. And so there's this continual, perpetual growth that really you have to have a mindset of like, this is one of those covenant connections that I need to have like forever. You know what I mean? I don't see me ever like stopping doing IM because it's always something new that's coming up on the horizon. So talk a little bit about, like, right now, what people should be thinking about is building a digital empire. That's really what people should be thinking about.
Now we're talking my language.
Here's if you want to share something, you can. You just hit share screen and I'll bring it up if you wanted to.
Okay, I will actually. I'll talk a little bit. Let me say this. And I think one of the things that I've been trying to talk more about when I'm, maybe talking to potential new customers or talking to leaders and individuals that are really excited about the platform is that we are not just selling a product. We're really now like almost brand ambassadors for the Netflix of, economical growth, like the Netflix of personal development. We have Bob Proctor now, not just as a one-off, but as a partner of the company on an education side. We right now are working on some new things that are in development for the later part of 2020, which is now the later part of 2020. So, coming soon. We're working on just more diversity in how we educate and bring people financial literacy. So what I would tell you is number one, have a vision that this is not something that you do. This is something that is a tool in your belt, kind of like apps on your phone, right? Kind of like your banking app, kind of like your banking app, like something that you log into consistently, not just one off. So that's number one. Number two, from a wealth and like a digital wealth creation standpoint, I've always been attracted to diversifying strategically, not, based off hype, because a lot of people will run and throw money and resources at so many different things. That's not the point, but to have discernment in where you put your financial future and the focus of that financial future. I think it's important. What's up, buddy? See, he's gonna have a big Bitcoin portfolio.
That's right.
So
that's good.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like with Bitcoin and with crypto, for example, like one of the things that I started diving deeper into is actually not only just the understanding of trading Bitcoin, but the understanding of the supply and the demand factor.
Yeah.
Why halving is such an important thing. How the mining will affect the future of mining will affect, because you're gonna have not only a day. See, if you're just trading, then often you'll have a day-to-day mindset. If you're creating wealth, then you're going to have also a long-term trajectory of where these certain assets or where certain markets can and will end up. And so when I start talking to people about trading, I've been doing a lot of stuff with trading. Honestly, the past 90 days have been a blessing because I've been able to focus. And if you look, hold on, let me see. Oh, there you go. All right. So is this going to share? Let me turn my notifications off.
Yeah, hit share screen, and then I'll be able to pull it up.
Hold on. It says add an extension. I might not be able to do it. Add to Chrome. Hold up 1 second.
Yeah, Chrome is probably it.
We on here. Hold up. StreamYard has been added to Chrome. Okay. 1 second. Share screen. Okay. Perfect. All right. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay. So one of the things that I've been focused on as far as accumulation, and I wouldn't say like saving, but honestly investing, is Bitcoin. And so we're looking at a daily outlook, right? So everything you see on the screen is essentially the last year, right? So you can see right here it's literally last year. This is May 25th, 2019. This is May 25th, 2020. And so everything I'm doing is, first off, looking at things on like the normal trader would look at it, right? And saying, okay, what's happening from even an hourly day-to-day standpoint? But also wealth accumulation is built, from a broader view, broader perspective, right? So understanding what are the trends to come in Bitcoin or Ripple, Ethereum, gold, oil, you have to start looking at things from a broader perspective. So you're not captivated by the day-to-day hype, the day-to-day falls, the day-to-day adversities in these markets, because it will happen, right? Yesterday, there was negative news on Bitcoin in Argentina. It dropped the market a little bit, but some people would think, oh no, Bitcoin's crashing. So have a wealth mindset in the way that you analyze as well. Because if you're a part of IM and you're really looking to take it, to a place where you see some people have taken it, part of that is having a lot of patience in being able to understand the market. And a great tool for you guys to use as well as you're trading. So as you're using the harmonic scanner, as you're using different tools. So I usually start trades on the harmonic scanner and I'll pull them over here. And the reason why, number one, is because you can do a little more chart work on TradingView. But also, I like the fact that they have some articles, right? They're always like giving extra insight. There's a lot of articles that have given me that extra bit of wisdom when it comes to my moves with Bitcoin. So, overall, we could sit here and talk trading for hours. But what I want to tell you guys, I'm so deep in the markets. What I want to tell you is that the way you look at any financial market or instrument is the way that you look at any financial market or instrument. On a short term and a long term, not just long term, not just short term, but you have to combine both methods of analysis so you can not only just make money or lose it, right? But you want to create wealth long term.
That is powerful. And guys, that's exactly the kind of education that you're going to get. We have access to some of the most brilliant minds in market analyzation, which helps you to basically at the end of the day, learn how to buy low, learn when to sell high. We teach you how to go back and look in history. And I want to say this is for the everyday guy. Like, I didn't go to school for this. I don't have my Series 6. I don't think Jason has his Series 6, but we are just around it. We keep it before our eyes every day and keep it before our ears. And eventually what you don't understand, you become to understand through consistency. 15 to 30 minutes a day makes all the difference in the world. So I really want to encourage you guys to get back with the person that invited you on here today, because I don't believe you're on here by mistake. Like, we're literally about to leave the 5th month of the year and go into, we're like at the halfway mark. So you have to kind of make a decision. Okay, what is my 2020 going to end up like? What is Christmas going to look like for me? Is this going to be another check to check? We'll see what happens. Or is this me saying, you know what, I'm taking responsibility for my success. I'm not going to wait to see what happens with 19 or what the president is going to do or not going to do or the governor. Like, I'm taking responsibility for my wealth. Doesn't matter if you're single, married, purple, yellow, man, woman, it doesn't matter. You just have to be hungry for it. So Jason, will you talk a little bit about this I Am Academy? I mean, you've been instrumental in bringing a lot of these things to pass. You were up going over some stuff last night, really late. I mean, you're really in this thing. And so I just want to say, I appreciate you. I know a lot of people on here appreciate you because you've been very instrumental in helping us to continue to develop and evolve as a company. So will you talk about what they can expect?
Yeah, no, thank you, Jewel. I appreciate it. I'm so convinced that this platform is not just an opportunity. I'm convinced that it's a solution. At this point, like, I'm so sold out because of what I've seen, right? Sometimes we go based off what we've heard, but I go based off what I've seen. And I've seen people literally come from some of the lowest points possible for a human being to come from and completely transform mentally, physically, emotionally, and then financially. The finances never come first. So that's where some people fall off the wagon. But you transform mentally, physically, and emotionally and spiritually first, then financially. And I've seen that. So I'm convinced that this is a platform that started, and nothing ends up the way that it was intended to start, right? So if you look at Apple, it's a great example, right? They wanted to create computers, and now they're creating cloud technology, cell phones, AirPods. I mean, what was an AirPod 20 years ago? Nothing, right? So what a company is intended to be when it starts is all that matters, right? Innovation, passion, integrity, ethics, change. If that's a core part, then I believe the company will always find its way to something greater. And so the conversations that I have with Chris, you guys have an owner, you guys have a company who the owner is literally studying like the highest level of energy, vibration, creation, like on a whole nother level, personally working with Bob Proctor every day, and just getting closer in his journey. And so we talk, and some of the ideas that we end up throwing off each other, I'll tell you guys, I mean, I'm impressed at where we are now, but to be honest, it's like a small piece to where we will end up. Even with just some of the things that we're talking about, we have a solution that we're floating, an academy that we're floating that I believe every household in America needs, like now, probably like yesterday. So to create further financial literacy, we're talking about doing some crazy stuff like on a social media type of level. So there's a lot of things that right now are amazing. In my opinion, this is the Netflix of financial education and just positioning. But I believe that where we're going is what fuels me as well, because there's so many people who don't yet know about it that will be impacted. So
yeah,
that's what drives me to have that type of work ethic. It's people. I love seeing people win. And then I love like the vision of where we can end up is just, it's incredible.
It is. Talk about really quickly your work ethic. What time does your day start? What time does it end? What does that look like?
It's I get this question like, what's your routine? A lot of people like you, Joel, I'm sure you get it too, right? When you're being interviewed and people are asking you, and you're a mentor and just like an idol for a lot of people. So I'm sure you get it all the time. Everybody's like, what's your routine? And it's funny because I always think like, can I honestly answer the question? It's tough, because every day is different. I'm like, I was telling you before, like my day today is like Tetris blocks. I got to figure out how to drive my car here to get detailed, to come back, to meet this guy, to do like, there's like, and then you're trying to live a real human life, groceries in the fridge, So it's interesting, because you have to balance everything. What I would tell you that's more important than like, maybe what my day looks like. I mean, my work ethic is insane, but it's always been that way because I want to earn what I have, not be given. So I just have this, like, even now I have this hunger that I've done like nothing, which is a good thing and a bad thing. sometimes I need to be reminded, you know. But here's what's more important, I believe, than maybe a necessary like agenda every single day, right? A duplicated agenda. Nobody wants to live a robotic lifestyle. I believe that you need a set of daily commitments, or what some people call like a DMO, daily method of operation, right? You need, like for me, it's daily commitments, things that I need to do before I feel like that day is complete. And so I put aside that 30 minutes to an hour of time with God, spiritual time, you know, time where I can buckle down and detox and, you know, really just pray and discern and filter information. I know also there's like certain leaders that I talk to, or certain things that I do fundamentally: personal development, spiritual development, getting into scripture. You know, last night we were doing like a Bible study, and then I have a leadership book study with my pastor on Thursday, and then I do something on Tuesday, you know. So every day I'm making sure that all the quadrants of my life are being fed, not just the financial. Because a lot of people, they want to just feed the financial, but I believe a complete day, physical, mental, spiritual, and financial, not just financial, right? And you can't just be spiritual either. You know, God wants you to go out and work as well. You can't just pray, right? You can't just pray. So some people are very spiritual, but then all the other quadrants are kind of empty. So I think finding that balance for me to go out and be proactive on all places of life, that's been more important than necessarily like the structure of the day. Because this morning I didn't feel like waking up at 9:30 when my alarm went off. I said, no, we're gonna go back to sleep a little bit.
That's good. No, that's really, really good. And you're right. You see people a lot of times where they're either really, really spiritual, or they go all the way and they just run after the bag. And you really do. You want to have that time. You know, I took time this morning, did my meditation, wrote out my affirmations about my life, who I was becoming, wrote out some goals, and then, you know, off to the races. And it'll be this way probably till about 11 o'clock tonight. I've got my alkaline water right here. You know, I've taken a few vitamins. And so I think at the end of the day, like you said, if you really want to be successful, you can't just work, but now you're dehydrated, so you're exhausted. You know what I mean? Like, you have to take care of yourself. Like, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't do anything to just, and I've done it where I just work, and don't even get up and go to the bathroom. Then your bladder, you know what I mean? Yep. You'll be like, get up and pee, child. And so, you know, you got to take care of yourself so you can go the distance, right? So you can run to the full measure and get everything done. I am a true believer that God has made us multidimensional, but a lot of times we don't tap into it because we don't want to push ourselves to the limit. Push yourself to the limit, but then also while you're pushing yourself to the limit, take care of yourself. Then you can go to the limits, and then you can break limits, opposed to getting to a point and can't break it because you're too exhausted because you just wouldn't even drink water, so now you're dehydrated. Yep. You know, so I love that you said that. And I love when I texted him last night about some stuff. He's like, sis, I'm on a Bible study. I was like, yes, you better get that word. So the thing is we can be full, whole, nothing missing, nothing lacking, nothing broken. But your relationships are going to dictate your destiny, period. You can't think you're going to go to the wealthy place, but you still haven't broke, lack conversations. And this is why our academy is huge, where you guys will have access to be able to learn how to trade, learn how to accumulate, learn when. You can ask questions. The platform is the best of the best. One last question, because I think this is important, because sometimes when people are out there, I think it's my last question, but you know, when people are out there, sometimes they're like, oh, I heard about this company, or oh, I heard about that company. What has been the difference? Because from my viewpoint, one of the reasons that I is still here years later, and I've seen Forex company try to duplicate, I've seen them try to come, and I don't think that, you know, a lot of times those guys have had good intentions, but it takes a lot, logistically, IT, compliance, and then you got to have the resources and the finances to be able to ride all those waves in this category creator, because that's what we are. And they just haven't been able to ride the waves because they just did the bank account wasn't tall enough to be able to handle and address all these issues that aren't going to show up until the first year or show up until the second year. Then it's like, oops, we spent that already. So when you talk about why I Am Master Academy is so strong and why we are, like you said, a modern day Apple in the Forex industry.
Yeah, great. This is an amazing question. One of the things that gave me a lot of confidence, and again, this comes with maturity, right? You can only appreciate something like this if you've been burned in business before, if you've, been a part of businesses that were different. I was just explaining. It's funny. We have a bunch of chairmen that are here in Miami right now. So they're all staying at Airbnb, and we went over there the other day, and I was talking to them about, taxes and how they should be starting to structure themselves and just going into some strategy. And I said to them, I said, look, there's always two types of business owners. And this is one of the reasons why we're so fortunate and why a lot of companies don't last. I never prey on somebody's downfall, but I always encourage people to remember this one thing, that there's two types of companies. Company number one is founded because that person is looking for income, right? Or company number two that is founded because that person already has created income or already has wealth and is just looking to create a legacy. And that's the truth, right? So one of the things that, Jewel, I know you appreciate, I appreciate, leaders that have maturity and understanding in business. We appreciate when the owners of a company are not dying for a paycheck. And Chris and Isis not only don't need a paycheck, they've never taken one. And that's the truth. And Chris, I don't feel I can share this because Chris has shared it publicly, but I also know that it's true being on the corporate side of the company. And Chris and Isis have literally never taken a penny, right? They have to show, like in the taxes, they show a salary, but they've actually never taken a penny from the company. And so, that to me is one of the biggest indicators when you are open and willing to pay out, probably double what every other company in the industry is actually paying, right? Because network marketing is also it's marketing, right? You're marketing one thing. A lot of times the truth is not fully disclosed. And we've actually physically paid out over 70% over the course of the last 4.5 years that I've been here. And think about it. The owners are creating wealth. Chris Terry has an enormous Bitcoin portfolio. He's trading actively. I mean, the guy is literally insane. We had a call the other day, and Isis said to him, she's like, I don't get it. You just create wealth. Like they're involved in real estate. We talk real estate every single day. Like him and I are learning about real estate to start investing, just not we ain't building no houses, but Jewel, like what you've done. And I've asked you about it because that's, something that I think everybody wants to get into as maybe like a phase 3 of the wealth creation cycle. But they're in there. And so for me, it's so reassuring because yes, you know what? They've lost a lot of money from having to go through legal, having to go through, setting up and getting through certain investigations with certain regulatory to make sure that we're okay. They've had to go through and endure things like merchant processing, fraud, credit card fraud, chargebacks, all those things that a company thinks, hey, if we put 1,000 people and we get $100 a month, we're doing okay. They don't think about all the other X factor components that will come, including leadership development. And I think leadership development sums it up. I have to run, but this has been amazing. And Jewel, I love you to death, and I would jump on here and chop it up about wealth anytime.
Yeah.
I'll say this: leadership. We have world-class, one of the most undisputed lineups in the world, from some of the most powerful women in the entire profession, some of the most powerful men in the entire profession, and every single race or religion that you could literally ask for under one roof. That's just special. So
yeah, no, for sure. Thank you, brother. This has been amazing.
Yep.
Thanks so much for coming on. And thanks for helping us work out that stuff last night too.
I got you.
Yeah, I
Grateful.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right, you guys, let's give it up for Jason. Put some sevens in the chat. Put some sevens in the chat. That was so good. Very, very insightful. I hope that it gave you a lot of clarity. And maybe some of you that are watching for the first time and, you know, maybe you're trying to figure out, like, what move should I be making? Like, where should I be going? Education is it. Like, the days of just saying, hey, I'm about to hand somebody my money, right, Kathy, are over. Like, you got to educate yourself, learn, ask questions. Like, that's where we are. And I really kind of feel for people that are not in this space, because they're probably going to be working a lot harder than what they need to, right? They're probably going to be kind of going around the mulberry bush. And I'm not saying we're the only innovative digital category creator in the world, but we are definitely a very strong wealth force for people that are serious about saying, hey, I'm ready to align myself, you know, with wealth. I'm ready to ask questions. I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to be there for the long haul. And I know some of the things that, you know, he's had to walk through, but like he said, it's just all a part of it. You just have to realize, like, you know, and I always tell people this, and I try not to be insensitive, but I always try to give people a perspective. Like, you're not going to just become wealthy because everything was so perfect or easy. Like, you're going to run into roadblocks. You're going to run into obstacles. And as a matter of fact, the bigger you want to become, the more problems you're going to have to solve. Right, Auntie? I mean, Auntie is solving problems every day. That's a part of it. And so I've changed my perspective, opposed to being like, oh, what is it now? No, like, it's a part of it. It's a part of it. It's okay. There's always going to be an answer, Michael, right? There's always going to be something that can be done. If I don't know the answer, I'm going to call somebody that knows the answer. And if they don't have the answer, I'm going to find something else. But this whole resource center, this whole educational platform is definitely where you want to be. I mean, just sitting here, look at this. I'm in profit. I just hit profit that fast, trading the NAS. Not because I'm so smart, but I've, you know, how many trades I put in this morning? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on NASDAQ, because of our financial educational platform. It's not because I was so smart, but I've learned through this platform how to read the charts. And so I just want to, Shannon, yes, you already know what it is. Problems, that's just it. Like, you don't go in a corner and be like, if this doesn't happen, I'm done. You were done before you started then. Because guess what? It's all a part of it. So listen, Larry, and all of you that got on here this morning. Yes, Kathy, come on, Naz. Hey, Selena. So listen, guys, I'm going to be right back here tomorrow morning, Monday through Friday. Same time. Get your family and friends on here. If you have people that you want us to talk to, reach out to the people that hit you up on your watch party. Check your messenger, check your comments, check your DM, because there are a lot of people ready to get educated right now. So guys, I love you so much. Thanks for getting on here today. This was great, 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 great. I always love it because I learn so much every time. So have a great day. Love you guys. Bye.